What's going on, everybody? David here, back with another video. So today we're going to take a look at Nancy Pelosi's press conference yesterday. And she always does press conferences on Thursday. This one got a little heated in the sense that you could see that she was a little upset. Chuck Schumer was also a little upset just about how things have been going, or at least they're coming across that way, that they're upset. And so we're going to take a look at the video, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. But this is really important. We're in a situation right now where we have a lame duck Congress, a lame duck president. And so realistically, we're probably not going to see anything in the next couple of months. And that's very unfortunate because we were all hoping for another stimulus package. But the way things are going, you have Congress that doesn't really want to do anything. You have the president. We haven't seen him in the last 6 days. He will be talking later today. However, the people that we need to be there to negotiate, they're not there. They're MIA. The president's not there. Stephen Mnuchin, you haven't seen him. Mitch McConnell saying that he's taking over the reins now and he's going to be the one that's negotiating. We already know where Mitch McConnell wants to go with another stimulus package. He wants a skinny version. He's not talking about direct payments and things like that. So we'll have to just see where this goes. I'm going to show you guys this clip, but before I do, if you guys can do me a favor, please hit that like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show you this video, and then we're going to talk about it on the other end. All right, let's go ahead.
Your position on where you are in coronavirus, has that not changed since before the election? Is that
It has been our position all along to crush the virus, honor our heroes, put money in the pockets of the American people. But you have the administration saying, well, we have just made a light touch on their language on testing. No, 55% of the language, which addressed what we were trying to do for people of communities of color. So, yeah, no, we're at that same place, even more so with the pandemic, because look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. Look at the predictions from the scientific community. You know, I've come before you over and over again. Some weeks ago with Frank Pallone saying, this is what we put in the HEROES Act to crush the virus. Why won't they do it? They were in their herd mentality, herd immunity mood then.
And I would just add one more thing.
One more thing. Given how COVID is raging, the number of hospitalizations, the number of deaths is increased. It makes the health care provisions in the HEROES Act even more important and more vital that they be included.
All right, now that's interesting that he's saying that. So what he's saying is, now that we're getting to a point where we might have a vaccine very soon, it's even more important that we have a stimulus package that has funding so we can distribute this vaccine out to the masses. And so not only do we need to have a vaccine, but we need to have a roadmap on how to get it out to the people. Because if you have a vaccine and people aren't able to get the vaccine, well, then it's not going to help. All right, let's go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you both. That said, though, you both called for the passage of the HEROES Act. It doesn't seem like there's any more of a path to get to 60 votes in the Senate to get closer there. And by that same score here, it seems as though in the House, your position on the larger bill, you would have a weaker hand to play in the lame duck Congress. If that's not the case, tell me why it's not.
Well, I think that the most compelling argument of what I said earlier, 144,000 people yesterday. And these people are spread all over the country. The pressure on hospitals all over the country, including in rural areas. So if the Republicans want to be cold-hearted and say they don't care, or as the president's son said, 225,000, I think at that time, that's no big number kind of thing. No, every single one of those deaths is important to us. We carry those people in our hearts. And they should be carrying them on their conscience for what they did not do. Since we passed the bill, the HEROES Act, over 100,000 more people have died. That could have been prevented. So, again, you've heard me say it a million times, Chad, public sentiment is everything. And now that the people have expressed their views, Joe Biden has won. Kamala Harris will be the first woman vice president of the United States. So I said to them, if we didn't have masks last week, they could see us beaming with that success. What they have been proposing is very similar to what we have in the HEROES Act, and we just have to fight to make sure that if the Republicans decide that they don't care about the health and well-being, about Medicaid and what it means to people in their lives, that the public will know.
And I would just say
Your
one
best
more
chance
thing.
before the
Ted,
election.
one more thing. First, McConnell is sticking to his emaciated bill, which he's tried twice and didn't get a Republican vote. That's sort of a non-starter. And then he said, because we have a vaccine, there's even less need for a bill. Vaccine makes greater need for a bill because it has to be distributed fairly and equitably, and there needs to be education that it's healthy and everything else. Second, the biggest change since Election Day is that Donald Trump, who was not for helping us in COVID and who was against the HEROES bill, has lost. That was an overwhelming referendum by the American people. So yes, we think there has been change. It should move things in our direction. We're willing to sit down and talk. They haven't wanted to talk. They seem to have stuck to their position.
To be clear, you don't,
Say that what Joe Biden got in this election was a mandate to address the challenges that our country faces, as well as to have a positive initiative on how to grow the economy in a fair way. And in order to do that, we must address the COVID, the pandemic.
This election was maybe more a referendum on who can handle COVID well than anything else. The Donald Trump approach was repudiated. The Joe Biden approach was embraced. And that's why we think there's a better chance to get a bill in the lame duck. If only the Republicans would stop embracing the ridiculous shenanigans that Trump is forcing them to do, that this, in the election, and focus on what people need.
All right, so that was the main meat of the question and answer during the press conference. So when it comes down to it, we are in a lame duck Congress, and like I said, this was the fear. The fear was that you had politicians saying, "Oh, we'll wait until after the election, and we'll go ahead and take care of things." The president was saying the same thing. After the election, we'll have a nice big stimulus package. But the problem with that is when you get into this lame duck session, you have politicians that don't want to do anything. You have the president, who's now a lame duck president. He's not going to want to do anything. And so because of that, it's going to be hard to see getting something done. And you see the frustration when it comes to the Democrats that are trying to get something, or at least they're saying that they're trying to get something pushed through. And they already know what they're up against, because they already know Mitch McConnell's going to come out and try to do the skinny bill again, because that's recent history. He's done it twice. He's tried to get this through. And so we're looking at a lot of the same when it comes to what's going to be on the table and how far they're going to be able to move when it comes to this. We see the White House, they're not playing a role. Stephen Mnuchin no longer will be in the room when it comes to negotiating. It's going to be Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. That's it. And so, and we don't even know if we were to get to something where it was approved in the House, approved in the Senate, we don't even know if the president would act on it at this point. He might just say, you know what, I'm going to save this for Joe Biden when he comes into office. So that's pretty much where we are. It's really unfortunate to see things transpire like this, especially in a time right now where the cases are spiking right now. Hospitals are starting to get to 100% capacity. And we're still trying to figure out what the next move is when it comes to stimulus. I mean, it's amazing to me that our government is this dysfunctional. I mean, it really is. I just don't know what to say anymore. And Chuck Schumer said something I think was really important. And I think this election was a referendum on how COVID-19 has been handled. And I think a lot of people looked at this whole situation. They looked at the White House and they said, you know what? We don't like the way this is going. We need someone else in there to see if they can do a better job. Now, we don't know if Joe Biden can do a better job or not, but they don't like where this COVID-19 strategy was going. So that's why they wanted to make a change. Because if you look at the election, the president, in a lot of situations, you had Republicans in these same states that were getting reelected, but the president did not get the nod for another 4 years. So I think a lot of people went into the polls, they voted for their local congressman or their local senator, and they did not vote for the president. So let's say if you're a Republican and you usually vote along party lines, you voted for your congressman, you voted for your state senator, but you did not vote for president. So I think that happened a lot. And that's kind of saying, look, we don't like the way this is going when it comes to COVID-19 and how it's being handled. So we'll have to see. We have about 2 more months, and we'll have a new president in place at that point. And I know there are a lot of people saying, well, he's not the president-elect. It hasn't been certified. Look, media has been doing this for a long time. They've been projecting races. They projected 2016. It was the same thing. The votes hadn't been certified, but President-elect Trump was walking around calling himself president-elect. This was before the certification. So yes, it's not official. He's not officially certified as the president-elect, President Joe Biden, or President-elect Joe Biden, but that they still use that language, okay? Because we know what's happening. We know where it's going. We just saw today Arizona projected to go to Joe Biden. Georgia at this point is projected to go to Joe Biden. However, in Georgia, they will be doing a recount. And in the case of Georgia, there's 14,000 votes between the two of them. So you're not going to see this flip. It's not going to go the other way. It just won't. 14,000 votes is a lot of votes. Even if they're hand counting, they're not. It might be a matter of 200-300 votes that's different, but that's it. You're not going to get 14,000 votes. It's just not going to happen. That's where we are right now when it comes down to it. Pretty much all the states have been projected. So Alaska went to President Trump, North Carolina went to President Trump, Arizona went to Joe Biden, and Georgia went to Joe Biden. So that's where we are. So one more thing I want to talk about, one thing that could bring Congress together, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and Mitch McConnell, is the fact that they need to figure out what they're going to do with the budget. And so that's going to happen in December. So that will bring them back together. And if they can't get something resolved when it comes to a budget, then we're looking at a government shutdown in the middle of a pandemic that's spiking and no stimulus package on the horizon. So there's so much stuff going on right now that might bring them, this whole budget talks might bring them back. And maybe at that point, they can kind of throw some stuff in there and we could at least have some relief right now and then get a larger package in when Joe Biden comes into office. So I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. Do you think we're going to see anything? Do you think this lame duck is going to be a lame duck and nothing will get done? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.